Welcome to the first episode of I'm a Farmer, your podcast on all things farming. Whether you're a seasoned agriculturalist or somebody who wants to break into the industry, this is the podcast for you. I'm Tabi Murutwane and I am not alone in studio today. We've got Hlobisile Yende. So basically, Hlobisile farms with goats, sheep, cattle, maize and butternut, all the way up in Heidelberg, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and so she's going to be here to tell us about her story and her farming journey. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invite, and it's always great just being around you guys. Okay.
Tell me about your journey. So where did it all start?
So I actually grew up in the city. I have 5 brothers, and I'm the only female. And just growing up with both parents in the city, but my grandfather and my father were both farmers. So we still run the farm in Mpumalanga. And we would visit my grandfather, and he also deals with grains as well as livestock. Never did I think, if someone were to ask me years or back then, did I ever imagine myself being here? I would have rubbished it because, wow. But I was glad that I went into it because I actually saw that the business was run informally, and it was not reaching its full potential. So I wanted to help my father because this farming business actually got us through school. It actually taught us a lot. It taught us patience also. Also, my grandfather always used to say that with farming, you'll never go hungry. So that made sense only when COVID hit, when you just like agriculture was only one of the only sectors that grew by a big 15%. So it's those little things that you were glad that you were taught and you had the privilege of learning from your grandfather. And I've always been a city girl, and then we would just go and visit the farm. But then actually I realized that, no, this is not my place. This is not where I belong.
So from the city to the farm, that transition,
Yeah.
how did it happen? I mean, it's not like uvugile one day, like,
Yeah.
I want to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Tell me about that journey.
I always spend time with my father, and I'm always with him. And ngabona ukuthi no. This man, he's alone. The business is just run informally. And we could be reaching higher levels, God, but we are just not doing that. So I wanted to also thank him. And when I actually went into it, I actually thought, you know what, I love this. And I found my purpose. Just knowing that you're putting so much money on the ground and you can only hope that it will give you the returns. And that's why I said again that it teaches me patience. Lalela, you can put this thing, you can't rush it, because I was also very impulsive and very fast-paced. But as soon as I realized that in farming, you need to wait for that thing. Like, for instance, butternut takes 3 months.
Oh.
So I have no choice but to wait for that 3 months and only hope that it will give me those returns. And once it's harvesting season, you actually you have a great sense of feeling that people will be fed. You are contributing towards the country's economy. That actually I'm doing something right in this country. That the business also itself is growing because now we have a third commodity that we are now sure about. And me as a third generational farmer, there's so much pressure. People think it's easy. I think it's even harder because in Pingi, Wanayo is when you're a first generation farmer, you set the tone.
Yeah.
You're the one who puts up that this is what I want, these are my goals. But then when you're a third generation, the pressure is even harder because it's the first generation, the second generation, now they're looking at you. And especially if you're female and you're young, that, okay, we want to see, are you going to take this down the drain or are you actually going to grow this business?
So basically, you have got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, exactly. As much as, yes, I had the privilege that I didn't have to go knock on people's doors to get the practical skills and the theoretical knowledge, but at least I had my grandfather and my father who took me under their wings. And also I had the markets that were already ready for me. But also those markets, they're used to your father. Now you are knocking there. They're just like, Aibosisi. Actually, now you have to prove yourself. You need to speak numbers. You have to say who you're associated with and whose daughter you are in order to be. So yes, it has its disadvantages and its advantages, but people need to understand that also being a third generational farmer comes with a lot of things because now the pressure is on you that we want to see which was ophelelapi.
Utamalako, your father, that is.
Yeah.
He played a big role in mentoring you. But who else was your mentor through this journey?
So with me, in this journey, I was fortunate to have mentors for all commodities, and some of them were even sponsored. So that's the amazing part. So with my father, yes, it was amazing to have him because I spent time with him, and it's his land. He knows his business in and out. But then I felt that, you know what, we need to grow. And in order for us to grow, I need to do the research and find the people who specialize in these commodities. So what did I do? My first mentor was Ndate Duncan Serapelwan. And with him, I literally started following him first on Facebook. I was like, I'm impressed with this man. I like his record keeping, and this is what we are lacking. I like how his business is so structured, and it's organized, and that's me. I'm very pedantic, and I like things that are organized. So I was so frustrated. Can you imagine taking over and trying to clean up everything in this business? So I made sure that I need to get hold of this man. Then I came across an African Farmers Day in Rustenburg. What did I do? I took my car, drove all the way, not even sure that he will even be there. Because for all I know, maybe he sent an apology. But you know what? I told myself, I'm going to go there and he will listen to me. And he will agree, you know? So I actually went there, and to my surprise, he literally gave me his number and he took me under his wing and literally came to the farm, spent a day and a half actually, and looked through the farm, showed me the mistakes or where I should be going. And after that, ever since then, he's just like, you know what, I can see that the passion is there. You're serious about this and you're eager to learn, and for you to actually drive that way. And that's the mistake also, that farmers or upcoming farmers and aspiring farmers, they feel entitled and they think things come to them. And they don't owe you anything. Dade Duncan didn't owe me anything. He doesn't have to, but and I had to bring myself down that Duncan, this is my problem, this is where I want to be. I eventually want to be a stud breeder, and I'm interested in the indigenous breeds that you have, because currently we have cementellas. So I wanted to keep a balance. And he was just like, you know what, I like that you didn't come here with the mentality that your generation has, that we think we know too much and we talk too much. You know,
it sounds like Duncan.
Yeah,
it sounds
so
like
he's just like, my dear, you will go far when you have this mentality. And I wish my peers can learn that shut up. Like as Kali would say, that shut up and listen, and you will go far. And that's why older people are my favorites, because they have so much knowledge and wisdom to share for free. And they do not gatekeep. Sorry, and then the next mentor that I got through the Women in Agriculture program, the Koteva program that is in partnership with the Gibbs Business School. And there they gave me a mentor that luckily was an all-rounder. So that mentor, I think, was the balance between the mentors that I have, that with the grain mentor that I have, the crop mentor that I have, and the livestock mentor that I had. This person was literally the one that would help me put all these ideas together and kept me grounded. So it was an all-expense paid program that paid for the mentor also, which is Ndate Tukisang. So he's the one who literally, I would tell him, and he kept me accountable, that literally I would tell him an idea that I actually want to go into beekeeping because we have the blue gum trees. Then it was a passing thing. No, 2 days after, listen, Hlobi, I found someone who is already a beekeeper, and she's female, and she also went through the program. Here's her number. Now I'm just like, hey, Bo, this was just me telling you. I'm not saying I'm ready to do it, but then he'd call you after 2 days. Have you spoken to this person? See, so it's that push that I needed. And the other mentor that I received was, and another thing that he actually did was with my book. I told him that I want...
Oh, because you wrote a book.
I wrote a... Hey, guys, there's a lot
Where do you get time to do all the stuff, man?
I don't know. Like, I even sit and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I even feel that sometimes 24 hours is not enough. So, that's...
I want to sleep, man.
I want to sleep. And the weird thing is that my problem-solving method is taking a nap. Like, if I can see that something is too much for me, I want to take a nap, as if when I wake up it's going to be gone. But actually the problem is still there. But for me, that works. There's so many things that I want to do. So with the book, I literally just told him that, Lalela, I just wrote this agricultural kiddies book. That's it. He says, okay, let's take it a step further. Let's translate it into Braille. Let's translate it for in an audio book, and also have a video for those who, for sign language, for instance. And did he not link me up with Blind SA? And now I'm in talks with Blind SA to actually get the book translated into Braille. And the book is also, I also got a voiceover artist who's going to get this book out. So we are covering, I wanted to include everybody, that even with your disability, doesn't mean that you can't use your hands, you can't be food secure, you don't know how to plant. Like, just know the basics and know where your food comes from. Because, guys, people don't know where their food comes from.
Yeah, here's one thing I actually noticed, which your mentors also noticed, is you are determined.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for them to come and spend all their time on you. So you are determined. So, like, I want to know something. Let's get back to the business.
Yes.
You said your business was run like not great. So what was the first thing you changed when you stepped into the business and say, "Hi, Baba, we can't be doing this like this." So what was the first thing? And also, I want to know. I met Tamalako. He's a nice guy, but he built a business.
Yeah.
So imagine, in fact, you're doing things wrong all along. So what was that like?
Firstly, when I took over the business, I was looking for something actually, and I had asked my dad during COVID that, hey, well, people are benefiting from the COVID relief. Why aren't we benefiting? Because we are supplying current beef, and we are still consistently working, and we are still taking our maize to agri. And how are they helping us during this time so we can maximize and grow? And then I looked at our papers that here, this is where the problem is, because we are quick to blame all these people and saying they're not helping us, but what a lot of farmers and a lot of businesses fail to do is compliance. And they overlook that, and people don't want to spend on fixing compliance. Compliance is shy, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, guys, we need to fix that, and I kid you not, once you fix that, it will open opportunities. So I started with CIPC. I saw the business was in process of getting deregistered because tax returns were not done, and we haven't accounted. But also the mistake is that people go to a normal accountant, try and invest in getting one that is in the field,
sector,
who understands. Even if you go to him or her for a business plan, it won't seem far-fetched, and that's why a lot of people don't even get the funding. Because you are getting someone in the office in an aircon place who does not know that in the field this is what realistically you need. Then you ask for a big budget, these people say no. So then I looked into, okay, fine, let me fix the CIPC part, financials. Anything that you want to apply for, they'll ask for financials.
And
records.
records.
We did not have that. And also, my dad, being an old school person, he believed in writing. He's a writer. Luckily, at least we had a receipt book, so we could use those receipts to reconcile. So I took that also. Then I took it to the accountant, and now you're spending so much money just to get your books in order. Something that you could have avoided. But also, he's old, he's alone, he doesn't know these things. So then afterwards, once that was done, I knew that, okay, fine, let's check our SARS, standing, B certificates, everything. So once we got that in order, I kid you not, it's almost as if opportunities came like this, because then when I was applying for the Koteva program, guess what they asked for? Compliance. Financials, all these things. So luckily, my dad saw that, you know what, the changes that you are bringing here, like he's a typical Zulu man, and very dominant. But he literally said, you know what, Hlobi, I see the steps, and I see that you are very transparent with me. Because also, he could have suffered from the founder syndrome, which a lot of businesses suffer from.
Yeah.
That I started this, so I'm not going to let go of this business because someone does not understand my vision. But with him, because I'm transparent and I still run things past him, he felt that it's fine, my child. Now he gives me the executive decisions. Now he's the one who says, Hlobi, what do you think? Or if someone wants to buy something, he says, speak to my daughter, So I've built that trust, but also I'm also patient with him. There's many times where I've called Dad Duncan that, you said we must create camps. He's not listening. He's making the bull go with the females the whole year round. Like, I'm done. I'm going to look for a job. This is not for me, But then, and then he's just like, calm down, be patient. So that's when I had to come back and say, this man built this. He also took it from his father, and he also had the pressure. And now he doesn't know. He's also learning that times have changed, that this is how we used to plant. But that worked for that time. You're not getting these yields and this population because you are still planting like that. Let's get an agronomist. Agronomists, I was fortunate that working with agri, they going through that Limang program.
Yeah.
They literally sent me, you know how much an agronomist costs for their times, and they came 3 times to me. And they just said, we will cover it. A small little thing was covered because of them. They literally showed us the mistake that we're making. And my dad, that's when he was just like, Hlobi, I can see that you want this to really work. And you are going up, like the means. Just even driving to Rustenburg, just even driving all the way to the Limang program, just to spend 2 days to learn so that the business can grow and to give back to my father that this man, he took us through school, he gave us the best lives because of this thing. The best I can do is let's run the business right, and that's why I always tell people, Guti, fix the small things. Don't overlook your compliance.
records.
Yes, and this thing, if you're going, especially if you're going to a partnership, partnerships are hard.
Yeah,
Like-
my partnership. I'm going to get back to that now. Yeah, I've got a little. I know you got a story about partnerships to tell me about.
Partnerships, guys.
Yeah, I know. So before saying about my partnership, what exactly did you study? Because I can hear what you like you're a bookkeeping person. What did you study? And also, how did that actually help you grow your dad's business?
I actually just submitted my master's degree, and now I'm literally just waiting to be accepted for my PhD. So
soon, Dr. Hlobi.
No, Dr. Fama. Let's.
Sorry. So Dr. Fama Hlobisile.
Yes, because and I actually studied criminology and psychology. I know, guys.
Okay, so criminology and psychology.
Yeah. Trust me, in reality, especially with us in the Black community, farming is not something that you are pushed into that. Do it as a profession, And farming also, besides in the Black community, it's seen as a by the way, or a retirement thing, or a thing for unskilled people or lower class, or
a thing for
dirty,
white people.
For white people, and I mean, look at the average age. They always base it around the white male who's 65,
60s upwards. Yeah.
Yes, I understood why my parents. I was lucky that even from school they allowed me to even choose my subjects, because they said we don't want you to come back and say trapili metzla. What my mom said. No, they allowed me to make my mistakes and to select what I wanted to do, But sometimes I fault them that I wish they also pushed me like how Van Tonder pushes his kids in a way. Holidays, and this is how you do, this is how it works, because then maybe I could have been far. And my dad till today still says, I wish you took on the business earlier. But I believe I probably wouldn't have been far if I took it then, because it wouldn't have been something I loved. But now, because I love it, I will do, and I'll go through ends means to make sure that it comes together. So it's the little things like that. But for me, I took psychology and criminology because I just wanted to understand the criminal mind. And I thought, my parents would just get off my back that, but instead they were scared of me. Hey, well, why are you interested in serial killers? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, your peers want to be nurses, they want to be doctors, they want to be, the accountants, and here comes this one. Now I see why, because the psychology part helps me understand the employees, because then I have one-on-ones with them. And the problem is that we put the mistake and think that their goals are aligned with our business and what we want to, but no, they are not. And if you sit and speak to them, you'll learn so much about your own business. And they're the ones that spend time in their business. And that's another lesson I learned from my dad. You respect anybody regardless of their status and their position. And once you involve them in some of the decision-making skills and you don't micromanage them, you will see that I'm able to come here and do this interview with you without being worried. That exactly, because you know what, they can problem solve. And they don't have to always call. If they call you, you must know that they've exhausted their solution. I mean, a typical example. We had our lambs and kids, because we keep them in before they can go to the fold at a certain age. And we had a bit of cannibalism. The
English is not Englishing today.
It's not, man. I think I need to prat. I'm joking.
I can prat, it's fine.
So they were biting each other's ears.
Wait. The
lambs and
biting...
kids.
Oh,
because I need to keep them in a certain enclosed area.
Yeah.
So they were biting each other's ears. And then the employees and the students, I wasn't on the farm. I had another commitment. And literally, they came up with the idea that they looked, because we've got aloe trees. Yeah. They took aloe, they made the lambs and kids taste it, and they saw it was bitter, that they didn't eat it. So then they put it on the ears, they rubbed it on the ears, and I kid you not, it stopped that day. So imagine if I thought I knew it all, and I'm the smartest here. No, and I always say to people, you need people smarter than you, and you need people who have gone through the journey. I mean, that's why Wondade Bagolosutu are so good at this. And that's why I always listen to them. And you will see the quality of stuff that you will get, because they see that you respect them and you value them and you are also human. They are able to also speak to you about anything that, hey, this is how things are, or no, because imagine if I thought I knew it all, then the business would never grow, because then they would have a solution but keep quiet, because Hlobi says, what do I know? So makes my life easy.
Being at your farm, I saw that the guys I met, they're actually older than you.
Yeah.
Yet, they listened to you. I observed that. I was like, yes, like this is an amazing thing. So you described your relationship with them now, but when it first started, when your dad said to those guys, okay, Bafetu, this is the person that's going to basically make most of the decisions.
Yeah.
How did they receive that?
Because most of them, I grew up in front of them.
Okay.
And because, again, my dad taught me you respect everybody. Do not ever think that you're above anyone else. And always remain humble. That's why for them, even if I ask them to do anything, they will jump. They'll never complain. But obviously, you'll have that one who will want to challenge you.
Really?
And who will say, no, I only listen to Babi Yende. Or no, Babi Yende's things take preference over yours. And you know what? One of them even went and told my dad this. I had sucked it up, because I've learned to have a backbone that obviously, it's a male-dominated space.
Yeah,
Majority of them are males and most of them have experience. So what do I know? That's what they're coming to say. But instead, my dad went and he put him into place that, listen, I put her here for a reason. And when you see her, you better see me, So ever since then, that one person, literally, luckily, but imagine other females, then it's a real thing.
It's a real thing,
just
bro.
Not even only with your employees, just in this industry, just even at the auction. Just you bidding against a man. So one would even stop bidding as soon as he sees that he's bidding with a young female because his ego goes down the drain. So it's something that we deal with. Yes, it could work to my advantage that, okay, now I get this cow for this price because you stopped.
Yeah, you stopped.
But also it's also sometimes comes across as disrespect. That, so you are saying I'm not worthy, or I'm not worth you fighting for this thing together, or now I have to speak my numbers in order to be taken seriously anyway. That, I have this many cows, this is who I'm associated with, this is who I supply. Why? Because it's hard, guys. Like, you look at a simple thing like applying for land.
But I think I will up because that's why I'm sitting up. Because you mentioned all the challenges you went through as a female and as a farmer. Let's talk about applying for land. You have quite a bit of a story.
Yeah.
So let's go through that journey.
I'm still...
Before saying up, how big is the land that you guys are farming on?
Our land currently is 1,064 hectares. The problem is that it's a very mountainous area, so it's very rocky. So some areas you can't really use. So, and that is why, and that's what led me to go and look for my own farm. And I started first with land reform, that, this is who I know. And I also want to, as an individual, as much as, yes, I'm building this business for the next generation, but eventually I also want to start something also for my own and to also grow, Because also, you know that in agriculture, it's about volumes. I think I'm being biased here. Like, I'm a grain and livestock girl, my love and passion. So I wanted more land so that I can grow into it and get better profits, etc. So here we go, sees an ad, and it was 400 hectares of land.
Where?
It's actually 19 minutes away from our farm.
Oh, snap.
So I was like, this is amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because anything I need, bringing machinery here, What I noticed is that with this land, they didn't say priority women and youth. In my head, I'm like, okay, didn't look at it. But then the others, these smaller nyana ones, they're 7 hectares, 14 women, or if it's crops, women and youth, I'm like, how? So what happens? Because I have my own kettle, not even just my dad's one. I've accumulated my own kettle. So why do you think me at 29, I'm not worthy of kettle? But you're forcing me into crops. What if I want for grains? But anyway, I took my chances. I applied, and I think there was about 74 applications that went in. And it's a whole process, right? There's a lot of loopholes here, guys. And I feel people are not even aware or educated about, and that's why they are not even passing that stage of getting even that application through the first stage. Because we send Bibles this much already of a production plan, but that's not what they want. They want that at the second or third stage. And you are not telling them. What they want to know firstly is, do you have the capital to run this farm? Do you have the equipment? And already, this is what we struggle with. We don't have capital. We don't have resources. I was fortunate that my father is here. But what happens to the next female farmer who is watching this, who wants to go into the same field? But they don't have this. How is land reform or the government in general helping them get startup nyana, it's those little things that we look at. So they look at the capital, your experience, and the equipment. So obviously, I didn't have all of that. So what I did is I had to go and think of ways that, okay, fine, I already work with my father. Fine. He's already letting me squat on his on his piece of land. Say, okay, Hlobi, get your momentum here, because he challenges me like that. Okay, you can plant your maize here on this field. This will be mine. Let's see whose will do better. So that helped me. Yeah. And we had lease agreements with me and him within the business that you are borrowing me this piece.
So Tamalako is like basically a partner.
Yeah, that's why I tell him, Baba, today we are speaking as partners, not me as your daughter. Because sometimes we might be upset with each other as father and daughter. But business, you are forced to be nice to me, and you are forced to talk to me and to give me this respect. You will not shout at me, I also make sure that I don't lose that respect and I don't cross those boundaries. So that's why I made sure that we have a lease. We did an affidavit that you are going to loan me. You're not giving me, you are loaning me. And this is the interest. This is what I'm going to do. Hey, I'm just like, hi, Baba Pella. I'm your daughter. Please, kata kancane phela.
Interesting guy.
Yes, but it's just like, no, I want you to push you. Sharp. And then I got an affidavit. I got the lease agreement that we have, me and him, and the equipment, the list of equipment. And I was fortunate that my father has double of most of the things, like the tractors, the boom sprays, the planters, the discs. So that was an advantage for me. Okay, now I'm like, imagine another girl who doesn't have all this luxury.
Who doesn't have all this, bro.
Okay, fine. But people don't even know that this is what they want. Then you get kicked off first round, and you find yourself applying for land for years. I know somebody who's been applying for 4 years. I applied, I took my chance once, but I went as far as doing the research that I sat there at land reform, and I kept asking everybody who passed, hello, what do you guys want, land? Like, how does one get land? Like, guys, tell me. Even if I don't pass, but tell me so that I know next time. Then once I got that, I sent it in, and then they apparently had 74 applications. Then it was 12.
Out of those 74 that you saw, how many were females and how many were your age?
I was the only female. And I always say I think my alter ego is a grown man who's got muscles, who's big, because I do not know where I get this confidence. But I said to myself, hey, I'm going to go there and they will listen to me. And I was the only one, and all of them came in partners, in groups. I went alone. At the second stage, you go and actually see the site, because at the first stage, you are just going according to a description. You don't even know what you're going to see there. Then that's where you see that, these are grown men who have their monies, they have their life sorted. Here's me, and I stood there, and I'm just like, I'm going to have the same confidence as this man, what? Because everybody is old, and then after that, they cut it again, because now they need to do verification. And verification process is they want to see what you wrote in that plan you actually farming, because the issue of Instagram farmers and social media farmers. So they wanted to see that you are saying you are planting. Show us where you plant, because you said you have an agreement. Show us where's your machinery. Because it needs to be right things, because we just want the application to go through. Now they're coming to see everything. Then again, I was alone, and it's a panel of about 10 people. Now you're alone. And they will scrutinize. They're trying to get to, they want to see if, will you break? And they went through that verification process. And that's another big pandemic that we have, is that our extension officers and the people that are put in these high positions have no cooking clue or experience in the agricultural space, that they don't even understand that it's planting season currently, that it's actually, there won't be anything on the ground at this time. Okay. Sorry, it's on silent but vibrate. Just like, let me rather switch it off, because I thought, okay.
You are a business person, bro. Your phone should ring.
Yeah. So one of them was like, so why are we here? There's nothing. I'm like, we are still well within. We are still doing our land preparation. We know that with our maize, you need to have planted before the 15th. Ngani's birthday, we know it's by the 15th of December. you need to have planted, So little things like that. But he was just like, but there's nothing to see here. I'm like, okay,
So
what?
Fere Lomuntulo came when basically it's off-season.
Yes, because it's your time of the application.
And that's the type of person that needs to decide whether you get a land or not.
Yes.
Asham, that's concerning.
And that's the things that we go through. Like, we go through the most. So be nice to us farmers. When you see us, give us big hugs. Like, send us chocolates. Like, yo! It's a lot.
That's insane.
And then they're like, yeah, but you said you have crops, because the primary activity on that farm that I was applying for was crops, and then the second was grains. They were like, okay, but where's your crops? I'm like, I just said, I'm planting on dry land. So I need to wait for your end of November, 1st of December. That's when I can plant. If I had water, I would have planted end of August, September, because that's the time for butternuts. But I don't have that. Hence, I'm applying for a farm that has water. Guys, our system is very skewed.
Yeah,
it's not fair. I mean, the least you can do is get people who have an agricultural background, because that's why also a lot of farmers get the short end of the stick, because we call our extension officers or we call whoever that this is what I need, but then they have no cooking clue. By the time it gets to whoever it needs to, the story is wrong, then you lose out. So it's those things. Then fast forward, okay, I passed the verification. Now it's the interviews. Interviews, I get there again. It's now, there's only 5 of us. Again, the only female.
Sure.
And again, to show, like, I was the last to be verified. I was the second last to be, I think because the other guy was late. But again, I was put number last again. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing. So the last to go into the interview, but I said, I'm going to still go in there. They're still going to listen to me. The questions, hey, guys, and it's a big boardroom. I've never seen such a huge boardroom in my life.
I think they put you there for a reason.
Yes,
yeah,
and you look, and that's when you sat, you're like, actually, I've never felt so small here.
Yeah, that's...
But I said, I had to remind myself of the bigger picture. It was, again, a question of succession planning. For them, it was, why are you applying for land if your dad has land? Is it not double dipping? So are you saying that because my dad and I share a surname, I'm not allowed to now branch out and start my own thing? So now I'm getting disadvantaged because I have this surname. That's another problem. That what happens if me and you, just because we share the surname, you're a beneficiary, but I want to start my own thing.
Of course.
So now I can't, because that's one. And who says that my father will agree that I will be the successor next? What guarantee do I have? I mean, I already have 5 brothers, and I'm the only one farming, but those are the things that I think we need to go back to the drawing board and consider. And we are saying we want the youth to come in, females, we want this, but how are we making that environment for them? And do you think we can't handle it? Like, give us a try. Like, what are you basing it on? So I got that experience, but I don't know how many have even gotten that far. So that was, for me, my experience. That's why I can speak on my experience on the land application, not knowing maybe someone else is different. But from me as a young female farmer, that is what I went through. And those are the things that I feel should be addressed. That, guys, firstly, let's look at the hectares that we apply for and what it's for. I mean, that one, I kid you not, there was 3 boreholes. I don't have my cry for boreholes.
Yeah.
Like, even just speaking about it, I get like a lump here. It had 3 boreholes, it had center pivots, it had maize dams, it had a pack house, it had a cooler. That's why till today. And then they awarded it in December. But I believe also, you know what? Maybe God has a bigger plan.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe because I really, as I said, that kettle is really my love. Maybe he wants me to get one that will accommodate my kettle and my grains, and this one wouldn't have. But my idea was this would feed, this would pump, I would get the money from here and pump into my livestock trees.
Yeah. Oh, bruh. Look, I'm sorry you didn't get it. You spoke about succession planning, Konamaj.
Yeah.
One thing we like, Tina, as like black people, let me give you my backstory a little bit. I grew up so business spaza.
Yeah.
We had a spaza shop. That shop took me and my 2 sisters through school. And then when our parents died, the shop died with them. Because of why? Succession planning wasn't in any of their plans or mine or my sisters. Okay, cool. They died at a young age, my parents, but still, I had no idea where my dad got his stock. I had no idea what he did with the money I gave him every night from the cash register.
Yeah.
At age 12, I could cash out on a weekend 15K. This is the 90s. That was a lot of money.
It is.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to this day, I even sit and wonder, what did we do wrong or what didn't we do? So let's talk about succession planning. And it's like, how important is it? Because you have a relationship. which is something I also didn't have with my parents when it came to business. So you have a relationship with a business. So how important is succession planning? And Futhi, have you actually spoken to Ubabako about it, or have you hinted it? No.
No, I forced myself into the business. He just saw me there. I didn't ask him.
You.
I just said, that's why I said, like I was looking as to, it was just a conversation. Did they not give you something, you know?
So I
went in because do you think he would have said, yeah, come in or just like that?
Probably
and
not.
Also he would have wanted, so I had to prove myself
Yeah.
that, you know what? And he was actually looking at,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry. This little white paper's coming through.
Oh.
Excuse.
Yeah, just...
There was something my paper.
Ayaphuma. Hey, nami futhi angithi I've gained weight. Hey, kuningi nje, it's a lot. So it was just a normal conversation that I had with my dad that, okay, hey, bo. That's when I took over and I fixed the admin side of things. Then I just sent him and I said, Baba, do you understand that even funders, when they look that you're old, no one wants to fund in. They're just going to say, you're old, how sure are we that after we fund you, then you just faint, our money's gone. We don't know. Like, it's those things that they look at funders. Funders look at succession planning, they look at the age also. That, okay, fine. When we looked at the partners that were there, it was all males. They were all over 40. And I was just like, no, man, there's a lot of problems here. And because already then I had found a love in the farming business, I was like, put me in here. I want to be here. I want, like, Kenyaka over with me.
Exactly.
And he was just like, okay. He wasn't sure, but it's like, okay. Then I show him the research that, look at applications. Yeah. Applications always say female needs to be at least 51%. In order, let's say, whatever you want to apply for. They always say they want young, they want youth, they want female, they want black, you know. I'm here. I know the business, not like I'm just going to be the front of it. No, it's more than that. Hence, I know, and I make sure that I get the medication, I make sure that I vaccinate, I make sure that I buy the feed and everything. So that if someone were to ask or test me, because people are going to test you, that if they ask me, oh, okay, so it's summer, what vaccines do you? Then I know that, no, it's lumpy skin. You know, that, okay, now we're going towards winter. You need to also vaccinate against your TBs, you know, things like that, your Pasteurella. So I wanted to show him that, Baba, I'm going to put in the work and I want this business to grow because I'm very scared that when you fall, it's going to be gone. And that's the thing. Those were his words. Literally, when I took over and he saw the growth in the business, he's like, you know what, I never even looked at you as potentially being the person who's going to help me at the farm here. I looked at your brothers. And he said that I thought I would die with my business because no one had the interest. And I always say to him, don't even feel bad. You didn't do anything wrong there. But farming, you know, it's a passion. It's like working at a preschool. You will not survive, guys, if it's not a passion, because these kids, imagine looking after 4-year-olds. And farming, like, also, it requires patience and it's a lot of money. It needs to be something you love because you will excel in it. Just like in anything, if you love it, you're passionate about it, you'll give it your all. Sometimes at the farm, just you even stepping out, they're already waiting by your window or outside. It's just like, it's like, oh.
Yeah, the workers, that is.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I had that with my desk shop as well.
Yeah, it's like, guys, I just went to the shop yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, because of the quality you want to serve and the market that you want to supply, you would rather go through all of that. And like Dr. Duncan always says, that it's a slow, but it's a sure business. And then also, another thing about succession planning is that I've noticed that I think sometimes we're a bit hard on, like, the Africans, especially because it hits us especially, the succession planning. And we don't groom our kids into the business that we have. That's a problem. It's not just in farming, but in any business. They don't groom their kids into that environment and maybe expose them. Who knows, maybe they do love them, but because you didn't expose me, obviously I'm going to go apply and become a doctor and become a criminologist.
That's literally what happened to me and my siblings.
Yes, because you didn't teach me. And now I understood why my dad would force me to go everywhere with him. That everywhere we go, this is my daughter. This is, she works with me. And, you know, even before I actually worked with him, he would make sure that they knew who I was, so that if he were to send me here, and he would always say, take their numbers. Or now he says, no. If they say, okay, I said, take your number. No, he says, take my daughter's number. If we were exposed maybe from a younger age, or to know the business, succession planning, we could have got it. I mean, we look at the silos. My dad even took a video of these guys. Like one was 14 and one was 17, taking a whole horse and trail truck filled with maize. And these white boys were just so excited. And my dad spoke to them and they're just like, yeah, no, this is what we do on holidays. We help our dad and this is this. And it's just like, I wish.
At 14?
14 and 17. And my dad was like, what are our kids doing, you know? And I told myself when I had my son, I wanted him to also grow up in that environment, but I didn't want to force him that, you know, I'd grow up here to a point that now after school, he now runs. He puts his boots with where the employees put their boots. He puts it there and then he runs quickly, goes and changes. And he says, Mama, I'm going to, and your sebenza, Mama, your sebenza. And he even says, if he knows that what we're going to do the next day, he says, Mommy, please don't deworm without me. Please wait for me. Like,
so that's about deworming.
He
How old
knows
is he?
deworming. He's 4.
Hey.
Like, I kid you not. If you even ask him, like, what do you want to be? He says, Mommy, I want to be a farmer. So I ask him, what do farmers do? He says, no, I want to feed the nation. I'm like, okay, good.
At 4 years old?
I kid you not. Like, I wanted to teach my son that you can't, if your mom and your grandfather and your great-grandfather were farmers and then you're going to tell me that you get your food from Woolworths. Like, it's not wrong. I mean, and I even asked him, like, Letu, what is a bull? He says, a cow that breeds. Okay, I think I struggle with explaining what a castrated cow is.
Okay.
How do I explain that? How do I,
maybe,
you know?
yeah.
So it's things like that is like, okay, I want him to know that, okay, a steer, a heifer. So he even knows that a heifer, he says, Mommy, a heifer is a cow that doesn't have a baby. So he starts going on. We try a little that, let's try, so he understands a bit, you know, and we underestimate the brain of that child because, I mean, that's why I wrote a book for 4-year-olds that I looked at him, it's based on, it's a non-fiction, it's based on his experience. That because he grew it, he was there, he now eats his veggies, he now eats butternut. He never used to eat veggies.
Because now he knows where they come from.
So it's another succession plan happening.
Exactly.
So it's those things that it's not easy, guys. And also, like, especially because I'm female and my dad, he's used to looking after his business and it's again the founder's syndrome that transparency helps a lot because then it builds that trust that, and I still consult him. I don't think I know it all. I still go and ask him, Baba, the Karen came with a proposal. Should we go into it or no? Okay, then he says, no, what do you think? I'm like, you see, now he trusts my decision making now. You know, so it gives me the confidence. But he even said that he now has an accountability partner. He didn't have because he was alone and there was no successor then. So he felt that he could do anything with his money. I mean, we didn't even have a formal bank account. That's why you should see compliance. We had no successor, but yet we are running basically a commercial farm.
You're running a commercial farm?
Yes, but hey, we are not behaving like commercial farmers, you know.
I think here in Shire, many black farmers.
Tina, we live hand to mouth. We put it in the pocket.
You understand, you go buy your seeds, and then you come back,
So that is the problem with Shire planning, compliance, and the succession also, which hasn't. You're forgetting that we are in a very high risk job. You can fall off a tractor or you can just get hit by a bull or anything. What will happen to your business, you know? I taught my dad also, Lalela, we need to, every month, this is our budget. If we come and we see something that is nice, we need to call each other to order that this was not. Let's add it too much. Let's work like that. And that way we don't find ourselves overspending. Even now, we've already started planning for winter. This is how much feed we're going to need. This is the bales. This is this. This is it. So that the costs don't get too much. But also it's tough because imagine there's times where my dad, the account is busy. I'm like, hey, how do I call this man to order? Because now I still have to, I don't know if do I call him as my dad or do I call him as a business partner, but we need to call him to order it. What are you doing there with the account?
What are you doing?
And he was just like, thank you, Hlobi. And I even say that if we want to have, like, let's say a braai and we decide to buy the employees' drinks at the Happy Drinks, at the Happy store. I tell him, don't use the card. We would rather go withdraw because what do funders do? They look at your bank statements. Then they see a big bill like this for alcohol. And then they're saying, how sure am I that this is going to go towards this project? So it's the things that people don't know and they don't tell us. So
that's a very good point.
And then my dad was like, I wouldn't have known. You know, it's things like that. Why do you think they're looking at your bank statement? You think they want to see how much money you have? You're like, why does blank bank want to see my money? Or, can't you know, they want to also see, hey, boo.
What do you use the money for?
What do you use the money? And it's a business account. So it's things like that and just keeping records of your receipts. I'd ask him, Baba, you said you went to the auction. Where's the paper? Or you went to go buy. Where's the receipt?
Where's the receipt?
Hi, Hlobi, I lost it or I threw it. Now he's the one who's like, Hlobi, let me give it to you before I forget. So you're training.
The partnership you have with you and your dad is basically ideal in many businesses. But it's not always like that, is it?
It's not, because sometimes I'm not happy with the decisions he makes. And sometimes we have a miscommunication that he would assume I know something, but I don't. And then there's someone who's here to pick up his order. I don't know, because he dealt with my dad, or maybe my dad forgot to tell me.
Let's say now you go into a partnership no wrong.
Yeah, that's
Which
another
happens
thing.
to a lot
It
of-
happened.
yeah.
I've lost a lot of deals because of them, because people don't understand that. They just think, let's just, Tabi, me and you, because we are great buddies, let's go into a partnership. But they don't know that anything we want to do, whether it's the business, signing off money or signing powers, it's both of us. For instance, here's a practical example. We wanted to apply for a mobile abattoir. Everything was in order, but we were missing just one partner's ID copy, because they want an updated one. And mind you, we only want it once every 3 months. We're not asking you for money or anything. And I also let them know, because an ID is a very sensitive thing.
Yeah.
Hey, or your touchy loan. It's things like things like that.
Yeah.
They don't know. No, guys, I just want it because I want to better the farm, and I'm going to apply for a mobile abattoir, and I just need an updated copy. And this person took their time. Application's closed, and they won't process because we're waiting for that for this person. And by the time they sent it to me, this thing was already certified long time. They were just sitting with it. They just didn't want to send it. So sometimes also some partners, they were there because they agreed to be silent partners. But then when they see the growth, now they either want to sabotage the business, or they just want to benefit without them working hard. We did a competition with Jacaranda FM and Access Bank for the women, her perfect pitch, the womenpreneur competition. And we came out third in South Africa. And us coming out third in South Africa, we got a monetary prize, and a lot of stuff came with. I kid you not, because one of the sponsors is Access Bank. What does it want? All partners. I'm the one who did the pitching it, and I'm the one who did it, but they don't care that you're the one, but they want everybody's details. And again, we still, till today, this competition I won in November, I cannot open the bank account yet because I'm waiting for ID code, just a certified. We're waiting for one till now. So I always tell people that just be careful of partnerships, because it can, and it's unfortunate some of them go into them because, my father, all his other businesses, he's alone. I even asked him, why this one partnerships? Why? And he explained to me that things like your land reforms, or some places where they want to sponsor you or fund you, they want it to be a cooperative and not just one person to benefit. So now you are forced to just take anybody and go into it, but not realizing the dangers that it can go wrong, but also it can work to your advantage, like getting that funding value or getting whatever you wanted at the time. But in the long run...
Oh, I follow you, by the way. Your socials are popping. Well done on that. That's one thing I also realized, that you actually using social media to your advantage so it grows your business. Also, you sell lamb. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so please, guys, follow her. What's your social handles?
Sure, guys, I always say it's so long. Rather find me via my name, because Hlobisile Yende, and you'll find Diary of a Farmer's Daughter. There's underscores in between all of that. So that's why, underscores there. And I'm also on LinkedIn, Hlobisile Yende. And on my page, they can just, I just created it also for awareness and education. You would have noticed that if I vaccinate, or if I have something that is happening on the farm, I post it there, because I realized with the response that I was getting, that when I stopped posting randomly, I'd get DMs that, hey, Bohlobi, please post. The last time you posted this, and I had a problem with my cow, and it helped. So that gave me a push that, okay.
Yeah, no, I saw, because I follow you also, and your posts are quite, they're quite educational and also engaging.
Yeah, and that's how I got my first butternut customer, who's a buyer, for these major retailers, because I just posted the journey of the butternut from germination until harvest. So they knew what I used, and they followed it through. Then she was literally, when she called me, she said, I want all your stock. I'm like, hey, boy, I don't like pranks. I'm
and
like, this is a
through
scam.
Social media.
We use it wrong.
Yeah, we use it wrong.
To post, and what do we... No, by all means, do that if it works for you. But I think, for me and the business, I turned it around that, you know what? And I get big sponsors, and I thought you need to have big followers. And I don't have a big following, but I now attracted your Obaros. big corporate.
The right following, actually.
The
is what you
right.
mean. Not the big following, the right following.
The right, because I thought maybe, because I have like a 2,000, I think, followers, but I was just like, why do they want to work with me? I thought you need to be verified, you need to have 1,000. No, they literally said, we love the content that you have. And I mean, even the MEC now follows me. That, okay, so clearly I'm doing a bit something right here.
Exactly.
And I get these sponsorships. I mean, even this cute skirt that I'm wearing is from a borrower. So it's the small things that can lead you if you do things right on social media.
Speaking of social media, Konomuntu, they asked, Hlobisile, you are a young, pretty woman. You should be working in an air-conditioned office, drive a Mercedes, wearing high heels. Why are you farming? Why do you step out and then you step on Gauteng, Shisilanga? Why are you farming? And why are you not sitting in an office?
Oh, okay. Good question. I won't lie.
Don't stop farming because of that person, but
I won't lie. I sometimes think of it, when the going gets tough and with the little rains that we are getting now, you're like, yo, I don't know why I didn't just become like a normal person and just go and work in the office and in an aircon. Like sometimes we get burnt by the sun, you get rained on, you get kicked by an animal, or like you get bitten by the little lambs on your feet. You're like, but why am I doing this? But I remember why I started, and it gives me so much pleasure. Like I always sometimes just think that I don't think I would have survived, or I'm glad I'm here. And from a young age, my mom always still says that I used to bring stray dogs home, and I like looking after animals. And that's why I could easily get the staff and the students to do the vaccinations and checking off animals. But I do it myself because I also want that you lead by example. If you keep managing and pointing, they won't learn very well, and they're going to think, she proved us right. She's just a pretty face. And I get that a lot, are you sure you're a farmer? So I even ask them, like, how does a farmer look? Like, do you want... already I look like my dad. So so every time when someone says, you look like your dad, I'm like, so they see a man. Like, it's that. And I think also we need to change the perspective that farmers are dirty, it's only for old men and it's only for white men. And no, let's change it. Agriculture and the future is female also. And I think also what messes us up is also these social media farmers.
These social media farmers,
so everyone assumes that she's just posting about this thing and that's it, but not knowing that actually there's a lot that goes into it. And I still dream about owning a Land Cruise. Like I still sit, I'm like, yo.
We all do.
Nonetheless, I still get that a lot, that you're young, what do you know about cattle?
I always say normal is boring.
It is.
Because if we were all normal, the world would be boring.
Exactly. And I think I found my purpose, and that's all that matters. And I'm happy because you find a lot of people are in these professions or drive these fancy cars, but they're not happy. And you ask them that, what's your purpose? Or why are you doing this? And they can't answer you. So for me, I think it took just me being nosy and just speaking to my father and forcing myself to find my purpose, because I was fine with just because I did work in corporate, but not knowing that COVID can hit.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. What's your plan?
Anything
they don't owe you that employment and that payment. And I needed to find a thing that is sustainable, something that I enjoyed, something that I loved, and something that was fulfilling. You know how nice it is knowing people are fed, even though it's not your pattern, but just knowing that you've
contributing to food security.
Yes, and you're educating. And as you said with the lamb, we sell those things because people want convenience.
That's the thing. So anyway, Hlobi,
that's it. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot from you. I mean, I was at your farm, but this for me was way more educational.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I'm sure our viewers and our listeners are gonna appreciate this a lot. I want to come back and interview Dr. Fama Hlobisile Yende.
No pressure.
No pressure.
But yeah. Thank you for having me here, and for this, I think we need more platforms like this where we can be honest and real and relatable content. So also you guys taking chances on us, farming is not easy, and these platforms are needed. So we are thankful for these things, and because just even taking a risk on us, it also grows our business. We shall meet. Not that maybe we shall meet.
We shall meet
when
again.
I am doctor.
When you're doctor. Hlobisile, or Dr.
Hlobisile.
Fama Hlobisile Yende.
Absolutely. I love fast learners.
Yes, I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please tune again next time as we talk to another great individual in agriculture. I'm Tabi Murutwani, and this is I'm a Farmer.